Today's episode, we're diving headfirst into the glitz and glamour of the Ballon D'Or ceremony and who would shine brightest among the stars. Messi would win his 8th Ballon D'Or, but was it deserving? So grab your favorite brew, settle in, and join us as we attempt to unravel the mystery behind the struggles of one of football's powerhouses. I'm Redbeard, joined by my all-time partner in crime, Targo.
How's it going, guys?
This is an all-new episode of Brews and Banter FC, and it starts right now. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Good. How are you?
I'm doing freaking-tastic.
What are you drinking, more importantly?
I'm drinking Snow Gaze, the new cold IPA from No Lie. Just came out this week. Very excited.
And how is it? Give us a taste.
You know, it's very smooth for an IPA, but it's very hoppy. Like, very, very hoppy. Yeah. Yeah.
You can keep that one then.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 probably. Maybe 6.5. Yeah. It's very hoppy, it's light for an IPA, so I think it's good. 6.5%.
I was just about to ask you that. You read my mind.
Yep. What do you drink?
I got Drew Brew, Hefeweizen.
Hey, straight out of Yakima.
Straight out of Yakima. So I did have a sip as I was pouring. I may have poured a little too quickly and had a little foam come out of the mug, but I'll give it another sip that's not foam. I like that.
Yeah. I've had that one before.
It's light, but it's got good flavor.
Good. Yeah, it's very good.
I feel like with Hefs, man, they can either be hit or miss, too.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how much hops get used, because, like, Widmer's is not very good.
Oh, I love Widmer's.
Pyramids, remember that? Pyramids Hefeweizen?
I think I like both of those.
Yeah, Pyramids was delicious. Drew Brews is great.
A little slice of lemon.
Yep, right at the end.
Picked it up a notch. I'd give this a solid 8.
Yeah? Too bad you don't have a slice of lemon to put in there. Be all fancy.
I am not fancy. I am not fancy. Like all those glitz and glam in Paris for the Ballon d'Or. We had it, man. 67th Ballon d'Or. Let's see who won, shall we?
Yes, we should.
All right, so we had the Socrates Award, which is basically like the humanitarian of the year. This went to Vinny Jr. for his work against racism and his work in education in Brazil. I guess he's invested almost 4 million euros into an education app for poor students in Brazil, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is
so good
awesome
for him.
And I mean, you've seen how much work he's had in racism in Spain, especially. I mean, a lot of it's put a lot at him, but good for him.
Yeah, it has. Even this year, got to get rid of that racism there in La Liga and just every other league.
Everywhere.
You see it. Serie A. Moving on, we had the Copa Award, which is the best player under 21. Was there any doubts who this was going to?
A little bit. A lot of people have said this was based on stats and trophies, you know, as far as Ballon d'Or awards. And if it goes by stats and trophies, Jamal Musiala should have won because he has better stats and more trophies.
Well, it didn't go to him. It went to Jude Bellingham.
I was just going to say, however, based on how the awards actually went, which was more play on the field than stats, Jude Bellingham deserved to win. So, but I think it's crazy that it's his 3rd time nominated, but his 1st time winning. Like he's still only 20. It's nuts.
That is nuts, man. Jude Bellingham's only 20. He's tearing it up at Real Madrid. Who knows what he'll win next? Maybe the big one, the Ballon d'Or. Sure, we'll get into that. We also had the Yashin Award for Best Goalkeeper. Emiliano Martinez coming out the winner in this one. I'm going to guess
Predicted
for
that
his
one.
performances at the World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the one highlight they played was a World Cup final. And I got to give credit to the cameraman on the Ballon d'Or presentation, because every time they played something that was slightly controversial, they'd pan right to like the people that would have the worst reactions. Like for this one, it was the save that he made in the World Cup final, and they immediately panned to Mbappe and Didier Deschamps. And both of them are just shaking their head and scowling. It was hilarious.
So yeah, he didn't get the warmest reception in Paris. Wonder why? Maybe because Argentina beat France and his kind of crazy antics.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised, especially since this is actually voted on by the the writers of the French Football Association, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he got boos, man. Like boos for a while. Like Didier Drogba had to come out and say, "Hey guys, give him the props he deserves," because he got booed the entire clip of him saving Colomboani's shot in the final.
A little salty, apparently, the French people still. Yeah. Do you think he deserved that award, though?
No. I mean, for the World Cup performances, yes, but like there are much more deserving players, and I think Marc-Andre ter Stegen got robbed. He wasn't even in the top 3.
What about Ederson, man? Won a treble.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but
so I'm gonna admit I'm kind of gonna look like a little bit of a hypocrite in this episode. And
it's banter, man. You speak your mind.
Yeah, because I don't feel like Emi Martinez necessarily deserved this award, but there's a certain player who we've already mentioned, Messi, winning the Ballon d'Or, I feel like did deserve. So we'll get into that later, though.
I don't know if that's a hypocrite, though. Like, what did Emi Martinez win besides the World Cup? Nothing, because he plays for Aston Villa. No offense, Villa fans. But
I guess that's true. Messi did win a few other trophies, so
5.
But we'll move on. Okay. Glad you're counting.
Someone's got to.
We had the Gerd Müller Trophy, which is basically the striker of the year.
The golden boot, yeah. Pretty much.
This went to none other than the robot Erling Haaland.
First of his name, destroyer of defenses, scorer of goals, winner of trophies, breaker of records. No surprise
and
there.
And then his team, Manchester City, was the men's club team of the year.
Duh.
Second year in a row. Pretty obvious. You win a treble, you're going to get club team of the year.
Yeah, especially winning the Premier League and the Champions League. Come on.
Yeah. The women's club team of the year went to Barcelona.
Surprise, surprise. Again, they're the Manchester City of women's football.
Yep. And then the women's Ballon d'Or, also no surprise, went to a Barca player. Spanish national team player, won the World Cup. Or the Euro.
Aitana Bomani.
Yep, she won it.
Yeah.
All right, but let's look at the big one, the Ballon d'Or.
The one everybody pays attention to.
Pretty much. So you have written down here, I thought it was interesting, some notable places. Harry Kane had a fantastic season. He was 20th. Jamal Musiala was 26th. Jude Bellingham, 18th. Gavisha Kvaratskhelia was 17th. Antoine Griezmann, 21st. Benzema, 16th. And so then you have the top 15 here. So you had Emi Martinez at 15. Then it goes to Ilkay Gundogan, Yassine Bonu, Robert Lewandowski, Mo Salah, Luka Modric, Bernardo Silva, Victor Osimhen, Julian Alvarez, and then Vinny Jr. as number 6. Number 5, you had Rodri, then Kevin De Bruyne, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and the big winner, Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that list there? You think there should be any shakeups?
Well, okay. So, yes, I think there should be. I mean, although it was an off year by his standards, Mo Salah still had 54 goal contributions, so 34 goals and 20 assists for club and country last season. That is the most behind only the top 3, as in Mbappe, Haaland, and Messi.
So I do have beef with this list, especially number 6, Vinny Jr. So I'm a big Vinny fan.
I love Vinny
But
Jr.
number 6,
Does
his
not
stats,
deserve to be number
no.
6. And he was hurt for a lot of last season.
So that is one I disagree with. I feel like they did Harry Kane and Antoine Griezmann especially dirty.
Harry Kane, 20th? Really? He had 50 goal contributions last year. 50. 20th. What?
I guess that's where the trophies comes into play that you mentioned.
So. And it doesn't help him because he got knocked out of the DFP Pokal today by a third-tier German side. So you could take the man out of Tottenham, but you can't take the Tottenham out of the man.
Yeah, you can see that game-winning goal on our Instagram story. So make sure you guys are following us on our socials. Keep up to date. Also check out the TikTok, Facebook, Redbubble, and YouTube. Like, subscribe.
Notification bell.
Give us 5 stars. Yep.
Yeah. And then, okay, so lastly, before I let you go on, Emmy won the Yashin, right?
Yep.
Ederson was second in that voting, not even in the top 30. And then Bonu finishes above him in the Ballon d'Or, but third in the Yashin. That's why you're allowed to be hypocritical, because it's literally hypocritical. It makes no sense. So. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Bonu, I mean, obviously he had the fantastic display at the World Cup with Morocco. And I think, honestly, it's because he won a Europa League. That's my only, I guess, reasoning for that. But, I mean, as far in La Liga, man, Ter Stegen tied the record.
Yeah.
Ederson won a treble. And then, Emi Martinez won a World Cup. So I would think those 3 would be above him.
It should, yes. I agree. Other than that, man, we got the top 5 spot on. Not that it was difficult. We did.
Yeah, we did. We did.
But I gotta ask you, because you've been leading up to it this whole time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you go first on this topic. Did Messi deserve to win the award? Let's break it down.
So I'm going to give you the short answer first. Yes, I do. And I'll talk about his competitors first, mainly his 2 big ones, and Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. So, I mean, Erling Haaland, his stats are crazy. And if you give it off, honestly, trophies and goal contributions, he should have won.
Okay.
3 trophies, the amount of goals he scored. So he had 53 appearances, and he had 52 goals and 9 assists for City. Norway, he had 8 games, 8 goals and an assist. So, I mean, 70 goal contributions. And I know, I guess the big issue for me why Erling Haaland didn't win is he was unlucky that it was a World Cup year. And his country did not make it to the World Cup as one of them. I think that's the biggest one.
I think that's a massive part of it, is he didn't play at all in the World Cup.
And then I guess you got to look at some of the context for how he scores his goals. A lot of these goals are created for him. I don't want to call him a tap-in merchant, because some of the ways he contorts his body to get these goals, positions he takes up in the box are just fantastic.
Brilliant, yeah.
So I don't want to say that.
Pure goal scorer, he's brilliant. Other aspects of his game, one could argue, not the best.
He doesn't create his own goals, I guess, is a big thing of it. You know, we did see him kind of create. He won a ball, took a shot outside the 18, and scored against Brighton here a couple weeks ago, last weekend. And so that was good to see. I love seeing Haaland win a ball, take a defender on a run, and, you know, take a shot from outside the box. I want to see more of that.
He doesn't need to, though.
Well, he doesn't when you have Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish. Last year, you know, he had Gundogan, he had Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
And so
Rodri.
He's got a stacked team around him. There's no doubt about really that. Does. But he still has to finish it, and he was the best at finishing last year. That's a fact. He was 100%. The best at that. So I'll look at Kylian Mbappe next. I mean, Kylian Mbappe even had, I guess, better numbers, stats, if you want to say, than Messi at PSG. And honestly, he had the same amount of goals and assists at the World Cup, one more goal. I honestly think we would be having a different conversation if France wins that World Cup.
100%. Yeah, I think Mbappe wins the Ballon d'Or if he wins the World Cup. Or Haaland. It's not Messi is my point. It wouldn't be Messi.
Yeah. And so let's look at Mbappe's stats, man. He had 43 appearances for PSG, 41 goals, 10 assists. At the World Cup, he had 8 goals, 2 assists. He was the Golden Boot winner. And not at the World Cup, he's had 6 appearances, 6 goals, and 1 assist for France. So, I mean, 62 goal involvements, man. That's a shit ton.
Yeah. Yeah, especially, out of the 3 of them, he played the least amount of games.
He did. And, I'm going to be honest, without either Messi or without either Mbappe, PSG don't win Ligue.
Not with Neymar.
By 1 point. No. I mean, Neymar was out for a majority of
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Season.
Like, with Neymar or without Neymar. I mean, I guess we'll see this season.
Yeah, and so that's with Mbappe, and I love Mbappe as a player, man, because he's different than Haaland. He will create his own goals. He will take you on the run. He will dribble past you. You don't see Haaland doing that so much at Man City. And so that's why I like Mbappe. But again, I think if France wins that final with him scoring a hat trick in it, hard not to argue against that.
Yeah. 100%.
And plus the numbers he put up for PSG.
That also might be something that goes against him, right? Because you got Erling Haaland, who got this team around him that's star-studded. And then you have Mbappe, who has Neymar and Messi alongside him.
I mean, you still had Marquinhos, Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos. I mean, there's still some big names at PSG.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm just saying.
They don't have Pep Guardiola is the thing.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a coach that sticks around for more than a full season, so.
No. But, let's get to the big man. The guy who won it, Lionel Messi, his 8th Ballon d'Or. And I'm going to be honest with you. He definitely won this because of the World Cup performance. Carrying that Argentina team. And looking back on it now, that Argentina team, man, they had some players
that were not performing
known
as
superstars.
Well. Lautaro Martinez
or even known
probably
superstars, man.
Lautaro Martinez had the worst 7 games I've ever seen him play.
And that's why Julian Alvarez came in partway through. And then same with Enzo Fernandez. Hadn't seen much of him at all. I mean, he plays for Benfica, so he's still playing in a, good team in Europe, but he really burst onto the scene, I would say.
And Rodrigo de Paul also had a great World Cup.
Yeah.
But again, these aren't household names. Like an Mbappe, a Neymar, a Messi,
or even
that
France national team with Griezmann, Ousmane Dembele, Kingsley Coman,
Olivier Giroud,
Tchouameni, who was playing for Real Madrid, Hugo Lloris, Rafael Varane, Upamecano, Theo Hernandez.
Yeah. I mean, we can keep going. It's the whole lineup and the bench, honestly.
So I would definitely say, I mean, obviously looking at that Argentina squad versus that France squad, France had the better players.
Oh, yeah.
But let's go over Messi's stats. So at that World Cup, in 7 games, he scored 7 goals, had 3 assists. He won the Golden Ball, which means he was the best player in the tournament, which he was. His dribbling, his creating goals, the guy was spectacular in that tournament. For PSG in all competitions, he had 41 appearances, 21 goals, 20 assists. So out of the 3 players, he was the only one to get double-digit assists. And besides the World Cup for Argentina in 8 games, he had 11 goals, 4 assists. And then might as well mention Inter Miami, where he had 14 appearances. He had 15 goals, 5 assists.
I'm only putting it on there because when they tallied up his stats for the Ballon d'Or, they put those stats on there. So, apparently it went all the way through the MLS season. So, because it started in the middle of last season.
Okay. And so, like I said, he was no slouch. You know, it's not like he wasn't scoring goals. He did, scored lots of them. Won a World Cup. And I honestly, I'll be honest, I think there is a bias towards Lionel Messi. I think there's
A little bit, yeah.
an emotional connection for what he's done for the game over the past 15 years.
15 years. It's insane.
I mean, just about, because he's what, 34?
Yeah. I mean, he jumped on the scene at what,
36, something like
17,
that.
18? 16, 17, 18?
I mean, let's not forget, Kylian Mbappe is 25. He's
Yeah.
not a 21-year-old. You know,
No, I mean, he
forget
won the,
how many
what was it? The,
young
why am I
player.
forgetting this? Yeah, the Copa Award in like 28, it was like 5 years ago. 2018, I think is when he won it. So,
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so I do think Messi got that obviously in his favor. That's probably also why I honestly think he deserved to win it, because, you know, this is where my, I guess, hypocritical side comes in, because I think Messi deserved to win it, but not Haaland. Even though Haaland had better stats, I would say bigger trophies. I know you mentioned Messi, he got the, you know, Ligne, that cup in France, the Ligue 1 Cup in MLS, the CONMEBOL for Argentina, and then the World Cup for Argentina.
Yeah, so
But
I
honestly,
mean, you got 5 trophies, yeah. But I mean, honestly, even if you're just looking purely at stats, I mean, Haaland and Messi are separated by literally like 1,000th of a decimal place by goal involvements per match. Like, it's insane. So, like, pretty much dead even in goal involvements per match.
so if goal involvements per match matter, I mean, I will say the Premier League is more prestigious than Ligue 1, where PSG have won it how many years in a row? Champions League is obviously a big one.
Yeah, huge.
But Messi won the biggest trophy, I will say that, being the World Cup. I mean, that is the most prestigious trophy in football in the world.
I would say it's the most prestigious trophy in the world, period. Any sport.
There you go. Yeah. I guess I wouldn't disagree with that. No.
Yeah. Now
And
let's
so
get
I
into
guess
my
for
favorite
me,
one.
that's why Messi deserved the Ballon d'Or. Call it a little bit of bias. Again, like I said, I was a little hypocritical because I didn't think Emi Martinez deserved the Yashin Award, but I did think Messi deserved the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
I'll admit
I understand.
Little bias.
I understand. That's okay.
Little bias. Want to see him sent off. Well, best player to ever play the game.
I don't think that he'll ever win another one, especially playing in MLS. But
no,
I mean, speaking of MLS, I mean, for all you Ronaldo lovers out there, because I know there are some, and there are some that would argue that he should have been at least in the top 5 for this.
Oh, dude, we're getting comments on our socials. People saying he should win.
Okay, well, let's go with Ronaldo scored 1 goal for United and 1 goal for Portugal in the World Cup. Dropped by both teams, might I add you. Tearing up the Saudi League and Europe qualifying games, sure. But last year he was not doing those things for Portugal. And the things that he's doing in Saudi Arabia do not deserve a Ballon d'Or. And for all you Ronaldo fanboys out there, the era of Messi versus Ronaldo is over. Get over yourself. It's the beginning of the era of Bellingham, Mbappe, Haaland, and if you want to throw Vinny Jr. in there, him too. But we are on to a whole new era, and I'm very excited about it. So, with that said, Targo, who wins the next one?
So this really is kind of the christening of a new era. Because like you said, Messi's going off into the sunset in MLS. Probably won't feature hugely.
Even he said he doesn't think he'll win
stage.
another one. Yeah, even Messi said he
No.
doesn't think he's going.
But looking at what's happening this year, man, Bellingham.
If he keeps it up all season, shoe in. Shoe in. Mbappe, he's kind of gone quiet. His old transfer row at PSG. no one really cares about Ligue 1 anymore. It seems to be.
I think for Mbappe to win it, he's got to move to Real Madrid.
Well, any team that's not in Ligue 1, pretty much. But, I mean...
But going back to that Ronaldo, I'll give Ronaldo some props. I mean, you can only score goals against the teams you face. And he's doing that at 38 years old, nonetheless. And he's still scoring some bangers. Saudi League, again, it's not obviously not the best league in the world, but he's still scoring goals, so I gotta give him his dues there. Euro qualifying, Portugal aren't in the hardest group, but he's still scoring goals, and it's good for him, man, to make a comeback in that Portuguese national team. So we'll see what he can do at the Euros. That's where I'm really gonna judge him, if he can keep that up. And who knows, maybe Portugal wins the Euros and he has a fantastic tournament and he wins that next Ballon d'Or. I don't know.
I think if he does, he'll at least be in it with a shout, right? You can't deny him that. But I don't think Messi makes it into the top 20 next season.
Not playing in MLS, no big major tournament for Argentina.
They might have the Copa America in the summer, but, I mean, okay.
They do, yeah.
It's them or Brazil. Win it every year. Whoop-de-doo. So,
all right.
I got to ask you one more question before we move on to the next thing. I just want to talk about the thoughts on the credibility of the Ballon d'Or, right? We know that everybody that votes on it is actually a journalist and not a player or a manager. Thierry Henry brought up a good point, as it's only voted by journalists, but not by players, and it needs to change to gain its credibility back, because the FIFA Best Awards have risen more to prominence of late. But do you agree with Thierry Henry's statement?
100%.
Okay. Would you change it?
I do agree. I mean, we've seen some robberies for this award. You know, some people would argue Erling Haaland got robbed for this award.
Lots. Not the players, but lots of fans. Yes.
Well, lots of fans, and I would guess some players.
Some. Most of the big name players that got interviewed all said Messi should win it. So
FIFA conspiracy.
There's probably a bias there too. Let's be honest.
I mean, there probably is. But then you have previous years, you know, why they didn't have it in 2020 for Robert Lewandowski to pick up his award. I don't know. We played football.
Yeah. You could award it to him virtually. I understand we were in COVID, but shouldn't stop you from awarding it.
I would also argue that in 2021, maybe Messi didn't deserve to have it then, and it could have gone to Lewandowski.
I definitely think Lewandowski deserved to win that one. I mean, that you go down the list, right? I mean, just starting from 96, R9 should have won it. In 96, 2000, Totti should have won it. 2001, Raul should have won it. 2003, you know my hatred of the selection of Nedved over
Pavel
Henry.
Nedved, man.
2004,
even Henry when Cannavaro won it.
Yeah, Deco in 2004 when he won 4 trophies for Porto. Buffon in 2006, Ribéry 2013, and then 2020 and 2021 for Lewandowski.
Some people might argue, not me, but Virgil van Dijk in 2019.
Yeah, some people might, because Messi only beat him by 1 vote. So
no, it was 13. It was closer than that. But I mean, you also think Liverpool, they famously knocked out Real Madrid, or Liverpool knocked out Barcelona in the Champions League that season. But I mean, Messi did haul in 51 goals and 22 assists.
It's unreal.
It's the consistency for me, man, with Messi. Just constantly putting up double-digit goals and assists every year.
It's almost like every year it's...
So yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun covering the Ballon d'Or, Messi winning that number 8. Make sure you guys are following us on our TikTok, Instagram, join our Facebook group. Of course, check out our Redbubble account, get the sweet merch. On that note, we love you guys. Thank you so much. As always, cheers.